Time to make a short vid about how the um, prepare part of Marvel Zombies works. Each time you gain a level thingy here, you gain assignable points that you add to the traits here. Yeah, each trait has 10 levels, and this means that you kind of cap out at 80 trait points. Anyway, though, or at least that's how it looks to me. I haven't actually gotten to 80 trait points, so I genuinely don't know. It's possible the devs calculated it as like, how much do we think people are going to play this before the event is over? Although, to be honest, the amount of work that they did building this event, you would think they would have it as like some sort of a bonus thing, but whatever. Anyway, so each character has multiple options for customization, which you don't actually level up characters individually, you just level up your rank in Zombies mode. Which doesn't work the way that ranks do in regular stuff. It's more like the way that ranks work in a battle pass. It's like you play more, you have points to spend. I think the exact amount of XP you get per match is based on how well you do. Not actually sure, because I forgot to collect the numbers. Anyway, though. So, each character has a red or blue choice. Now, what the red and the blue does depends on which character you play. For Jeff, are you going to play him as a ranged attacker or a melee attacker? Because this version of Jeff, when he does the whole like hide and seek thing where swims around with only his fin sticking up out of the ground, that's a melee attack here, and it actually does a significant amount of damage. While Joyful Splash seems to have very low damage, that's like damage per second or something. Anyway, though, so each of these things has different things that it does. Like, also, these things here, you have to gain ranks to use them, but they change the fundamental way things work. Aqua Burst. High speed water sphere, blah blah blah. This is the normal ability. Buoyant Splash. When you use the normal ability, it creates a water jet at the site of the thing, which acts as a turret. Which, again, Jeff is actually sort of a healer here. It's just that the way that this game mode works, you don't really need a healer, and healers are fully optional. You don't even need a tank. Now, Punisher is a character who is ranged DPS who benefits from having enemies keep these zombies off of him while he shoots things from a distance. So, you know, that kind of is a thing. But Blade and Magik are tough enough when it comes to being DPS characters that they kind of, sort of, yeah, they don't need a tank. Anyway, though. But yeah, I don't feel like going through all of the options, but it's one of those things where you just like look at it's like what sounds useful for how you like to play the character. Like me, I've seen a lot of people who decided they wanted to do the permanent Dark Child version of Magik, which is actually one of the first things that you unlock, is the ability to have Ilyana stuck in Dark Child form. Yeah, see, because like this is the standard one where you building your ultimate meter gives you the ability to turn into Dark Child form temporarily. Well, you also have the Demonic Will, where you are in Dark Child form permanently, but it has somewhat less stats. Technically, with Demonic Will, you have to actually use your ultimate to transform as soon as you enter the match, but you start with a full ultimate here, so you know. And then the ultimate just never ends. What I was doing though is Mortal Will. Ultimate, you don't actually transform into Darkchild ever, but you gain permanent boost to health and damage. So your normal form, once you have to actually fill your meter the normal way. So you have to actually fill your ultimate meter before this actually takes effect. But when you do, it basically has your character go Super Saiyan and stay that way, which is fun. And of course, then we have stuff like here. It's like the regular dash forward, launch an enemy upwards, or dash forward, just like dash through everyone, do damage and launch enemies along the path. This is not as useful against single targets as the original one, unfortunately, but when you're in crowded situations, and that comes up quite a lot, this will let you do damage to a lot of enemies in a line, but this is a game mode where enemies in a line is actually relatively common. And there's this one, which I've never tried this, and it sounds interesting, so I might try that later. But it basically turns it into an AoE that piles up the bodies. Note how it doesn't have the word damage anywhere in this. I'm not certain if it actually does damage. I'm guessing it does, but I don't know. Because like this doesn't say it does damage, but it actually does do damage. So I'm guessing that when it says launch an enemy upward, I think that means that it actually collects them into a pile, then does damage to them as it launches them. But I don't really know. This one, I'm not high enough level to unlock this one, but hey, you know what? It sounds interesting. This, however, does have an interesting thing. You choose between Eldritch Whirl, which is the AoE sword swing attack, or Limbo Demons. Notably, this doesn't say that the Limbo Demons have improved damage. It says they have increased health. Well, okay. What this means is a little because my understanding of this, and I've not tested it yet, is that the Limbo Demon's health is actually the amount of time that they stay out, because enemies don't actually damage them. Anyway, though. So yeah, all the characters have their own set of customization options. Punishers is basically like, do you like the shotgun or do you prefer the machine gun? Choose one. And because like, that's another thing, is that the starting point that you get, because like when you start you get one assignable point. If you look at the numbers here, I have, let's see, 18 points assigned, and I'm level 18. You don't start at level 0, you start at level 1. So when you start, you get 1 point to assign. Just one. Which will give you a bonus to something. Anyway, though. I'm not actually sure what this means by health. I think it might just be like a passive increase to your health stat. Oh yeah, that's another thing, is that my health stat in this is actually quite high. Oh, also, see this here? These versions of the characters have a different backstory than the normal ones. That's also a kind of an interesting thing. Because like this is like something special to the zombies mode. Each of them is something, you know, interesting. Like, why does this version of Blade borrow one of Moon Knight's powers? Well, he does. Anyway, though. Alrighty then. Well, I guess that's enough for this. There is also a thing where during a match you have to choose cards. Yeah, it'll have this little like prompt pop up where you like push G to spend things. Well, I would personally recommend against doing the random draw one because of the fact that it seems to give you less points worth of cards doing the random draw than you would get if you simply spend points manually. The other thing to remember about the card draw thing is that if you buy all 3 of the cards that it gives you as your initial draw, you have to manually reload to get a new draw. It doesn't just automatically give you one because it's empty. But reloading, you know, 1 point to reload and then draw new cards if they're cards you want. Which realistically, the way that I have my Magik build set up, and I haven't really tried this in any depth with any of the other characters, some of the cards are specific to Darkchild form. Some of the cards are specific to normal form. Well, because of the fact that I'm focusing solely on the normal form, I just take all of the normal form cards and all of the cards that affect both forms and leave out the Darkchild cards. And yeah, seems to work pretty good. Anyway, though, the only character other than Magik that I've actually played in this mode is Punisher, and that was only for like 1 match because it was slow loading and the game dumped me into the match before it had actually loaded into the menu to choose which character to play. Oh well. Anyway, though. Alrighty then. Well, that's enough for this for now. See you guys later.